Fix this, and I'll give you my mansion," shouted the CEO, slamming his palm onto the polished mahogany desk. His laugh echoed through the vast office like rolling thunder. "Or maybe you'll break it and prove why I shouldn't waste my time on peasants." Martha's hands tightened around the mop handle. The words hit her like ice water. She had heard taunts before, whispers in the corridors, sly jokes in the elevator. But this was public humiliation. Her chest tightened, and for a moment, she imagined the shame spilling into every corner of her small, cramped apartment. Her son, Jordan, only 12, sat quietly in the corner. His hands were buried in a tangle of wires and broken gadgets he had scavenged from trash bins and discarded electronics. Most kids played video games. Jordan built robots. He understood machines better than most engineers. Martha forced a polite smile. I'll try, sir," she said, her voice trembling but steady. The CEO waved her off with disdain, already turning to an assistant. "Bring me something I can actually trust," he muttered. But his eyes lingered on Jordan for a brief moment, a flicker of curiosity that Martha noticed. That night, the mansion was quiet, suffocatingly quiet. Martha cleaned floors and polished glass, but Jordan could not focus. His mind raced with schematics, codes, and circuits. "Mom," he whispered, peeking around a pile of discarded motherboards. "This isn't just about the ceiling fan, is it?" Martha sighed, raking a hand through her worn hair. "No, baby. He's mocking me. Mocking us. It's never just a fan." Jordan nodded, determination settling over his young face like armor. "Then I'll fix it perfectly, so they can't laugh at us." By dawn, Jordan had already spread every piece of salvaged electronics across the workshop corner of their tiny apartment. Batteries, wires, microchips, tiny motors, all lined up like soldiers awaiting orders. The fan the CEO had mocked, ancient, rattling, and practically falling apart, became the centerpiece of Jordan's design. But he didn't just want it working. He wanted it flawless, something impossible, something that would make the CEO's jaw drop. "Mom," Jordan said, his voice tight with concentration, "trust me, if it works, they'll never see me as a kid again, and they'll never mock you." Martha's eyes filled with tears. She knelt beside him, holding his small hands. "I trust you, Jordan. You're smarter than anyone I know." 3 days passed. The CEO's mansion loomed large over their neighborhood in a constant shadow, a symbol of wealth, power, and cruelty. Jordan worked day and night, barely sleeping. Each night, he crawled under tables, soldered circuits, reprogrammed motors, and tested sensors, while Martha prepared simple meals and whispered encouragements. Then, on the 4th day, disaster struck. A surge of electricity popped a wire, and smoke curled around Jordan's face. He coughed violently, and Martha screamed. The apartment filled with panic. "Jordan!" she shouted, rushing to fan the smoke away. "Are you okay?" Coughing, Jordan held up a small, singed component. I think I need another design. It's not ready yet." Martha's heart sank. She wanted to cry, scream at the universe for testing them so cruelly. But she also saw the spark in Jordan's eyes, a fire that no smoke, no mockery, no poverty could ever snuff out. The morning of the CEO's challenge arrived. Martha walked into the mansion, pretending to be calm, while Jordan followed behind, backpack loaded with tools and contraptions. The CEO leaned back in his chair, smirking, already certain that this would be another comedy for him. "Ah, the cleaning lady," he sneered, "and her little genius son, ready to embarrass yourselves." Jordan's fingers twitched, but his face remained calm. He whispered to his mother, "Watch this." They approached the broken ceiling fan. Jordan opened his backpack and began pulling out pieces, not just replacing old parts, but adding small sensors, miniature motors, and a subtle, almost invisible network of gears that no one could notice at first glance. "Wait!" the CEO squinted. "What is he doing?" Jordan didn't speak. He didn't need to. His hands moved with precision and grace that made the CEO lean forward, frowning, a flicker of doubt crossing his arrogant expression. And then it happened. The fan, silent for months, began to hum softly. Slowly, it rotated, not the shaky, rattling spin it had before, but smooth, Precise, almost like it was floating. The lights flickered. The ceiling shimmered. Then the fan began to adjust its speed automatically, responding to the temperature and air flow in the room. It balanced itself, almost magically, with sensors compensating for every imperfection. The CEO blinked. His smirk faltered. How is this possible? Jordan stepped back, proud but calm. It's fixed, he said simply, and it's better than new. The CEO laughed, at first nervously, then genuinely, but the laughter faded as the fan began to hover slightly, casting mesmerizing shadows across the marble floor. It wasn't just fixed. It was a marvel. Martha gasped, holding her son's shoulder. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. The CEO's face turned red. Impossible, he muttered. No child, no one could. And just as he opened his mouth to protest, the fan began to rotate faster, then slower, and the chandelier above it shimmered, its crystals casting a cascade of light across the room. Every inch of the CEO's opulent office became alive, a demonstration of genius that made his assistants gape in awe. Jordan's lips curled into a small, victorious smile. But then, suddenly, the fan shuddered. A tiny motor sparked, and the entire system went dark. The mansion plunged into silence. The CEO froze, his eyes wide. What just... Jordan took a deep breath, a hint of worry crossing his face. It's not over yet, he whispered. Cliffhanger. The CEO's smirk had vanished, replaced by something he hadn't expected. Fear. And in that fear, Martha realized that their lives were about to change forever. The mansion's silence was deafening. The CEO's face twisted between anger and disbelief, his hands gripping the arms of his leather chair like he could crush it with force alone. You little... How? Martha stepped forward, chest tight, but shoulders squared. Sir, it's not just about fixing something. It's about understanding it, she said, her voice calm but firm. Jordan doesn't just repair things. He makes them better. The CEO sneered, but his eyes betrayed a flicker of fear. Better? You're saying this kid. He's superior to my engineers. Jordan didn't respond. He crouched beside the fan again, eyes scanning, hands already reaching for his toolkit. Every motion was precise, deliberate, almost surgical. His mind was a storm of calculations and adjustments, predicting every possibility before it happened. Mom, watch carefully, Jordan whispered, not taking his eyes off the delicate assembly. I'm about to show him what real genius looks like. Martha held her breath. She'd seen Jordan's talent before, in scraps of old electronics, in little robots that could solve puzzles. But this was on another level, and she knew the CEO's arrogance would be his downfall. Jordan pressed a small button hidden in the fan's central hub. Immediately, the fan shivered, then hovered slightly, as if defying gravity itself. A faint hum filled the room, soft but commanding. Then, in a move that made everyone gasp, the fan began to detect the air currents in the room. It adjusted its speed, direction, and even the tilt of its blades to create perfect airflow. The CEO's jaw dropped. This is impossible. No child, no technician could do this. This, he cut himself off, voice trembling with disbelief. This is insane. One of his assistants, a young engineer named Marcus, stepped forward, unable to hide his astonishment. Sir, it's beautiful. I've never seen anything like this. He didn't just fix it, he redesigned it entirely. Jordan's eyes met Marcus's briefly. Sometimes solutions don't come from experience, he said softly. Sometimes they come from seeing things differently. The CEO slammed his fist on the desk. Enough talk. I said fix it. This isn't some art project. Jordan's small hands moved faster. Tiny gears clicked. Motors spun quietly. Sensors glimmered. And then, with a sudden surge of brilliance, the fan began to illuminate the room, not with ordinary light, but with a soft, ambient glow that danced on the walls and ceiling, shifting in response to movement. The CEO froze. His assistants gasped. Martha's eyes filled with tears. Jordan looked at his mother and whispered, "Watch this part." He pressed another hidden switch. The fan rotated faster, but with elegance. The chandelier above it sparkled, reflecting light in intricate patterns. Every crystal, every shadow seemed alive. The room, once intimidating and cold, now shimmered like a work of art. The CEO's face turned red, not with anger now, but with a mixture of fear and awe. How is this possible? Jordan stood, small but unyielding, because I don't just see problems. I see potential, and potential is limitless. Martha swallowed hard. She knew that for years the CEO had mocked her, dismissed her, treated her like she was invisible. But now, her son was standing in front of him, proving that brilliance doesn't care about wealth, status, or prejudice. The CEO, still trembling, muttered under his breath, I can't, this is impossible. Jordan took a deep breath and tapped a final command into his small tablet. Suddenly, every appliance in the mansion that had been failing, inefficient, or outdated came to life, working in perfect harmony. The lights, the fans, even the air conditioning, all synchronized with flawless precision. The mansion hummed like a living organism, responding to every need instantly. The assistants whispered, awestruck. Marcus, the engineer, muttered, He's made this mansion alive. The CEO turned to Martha, eyes wild. How did you let this happen? This child, he couldn't finish a sentence. Martha, for the first time, smiled, not weakly, not apologetically, but triumphantly. You mocked me. You mocked us. You thought a black maid and her son were nothing. But talent, courage, and hard work, they can't be ignored, and they don't need permission to shine. Jordan's small hand rested on his mother's. Sir, he said softly, if you want this mansion to work properly, you don't need me to fix it. You need to treat people with respect. That's the real upgrade you've been missing. The CEO's face paled. Rage, humiliation, and fear warred in his eyes. He opened his mouth to speak, but before he could, the mansion's lights flickered, and the fan, now rotating flawlessly, projected holographic images of every flaw the CEO's staff had ignored for years. Wasted energy, mismanaged resources, inefficiencies. Everyone in the room stared. It was a visual audit, a living proof of incompetence. And at the center of it all stood a 12-year-old boy and his mother, completely, undeniably brilliant. The CEO's voice dropped to a whisper. No, this can't be happening. Jordan glanced at Martha. Mom, I think it's time to finish this. She nodded, heart pounding. She had never felt prouder. Together, mother and son had taken the ultimate insult and transformed it into undeniable proof of their genius. Then, without warning, the mansion's main power system hummed louder, and the entire ceiling fan assembly, along with holographic projections, began to emit a strange, pulsing light. The assistant stepped back in fear. Martha grabbed Jordan's hand. Something's happening, she whispered. The CEO froze in terror, eyes widening as the mansion systems, now fully under Jordan's control, began to shift in ways no one could predict. The lights, the fan, the air, all of it moved as if alive. The mansion had become a testament to human ingenuity, and now it was asserting its presence. Cliffhanger! The CEO stumbled backward, terrified, as the mansion seemed to pulse with life. Martha realized with a shock that Jordan's invention wasn't just a fix. It was something far more powerful, and it was about to reveal secrets that could change everything forever. The mansion had become a stage, and Jordan, only 12, was the star. Every flickering light, every motorized appliance, every fan blade rotating with unnatural precision, responded to his commands. The CEO's sprawling office, usually a fortress of arrogance, was now a cage of humiliation, and the boy at its center held the keys. Martha's grip on Jordan's hand was tight. "Be careful, baby," she whispered, heart pounding. "Don't let him provoke you." Jordan shook his head slightly, eyes focused on the CEO's panicked face. "Mom, he's already provoked me," he said softly, voice calm but determined. "This is just teaching him a lesson he'll never forget." The CEO's trembling voice cut through the hum of the machinery. You can't, you're just a child." "A child?" He tried to assert his authority, but the mansion didn't respond to him. It responded only to Jordan. Jordan stepped closer, tiny but fearless. "I may be a child," he said, "but even a child can see things adults ignore. Even a child can fix what adults break." The CEO's assistants whispered among themselves. faces pale. Marcus, the young engineer who had first shown curiosity, stepped forward cautiously. Sir, he's not just fixing it. He's improving everything. Every system, every appliance, every inefficiency. It's like he can see through the mansion itself. The CEO's arrogance faltered, replaced by fear. He turned to Martha, voice dropping to a whisper. You let him. This is impossible. He's just a child. Martha's eyes blazed with quiet pride. No, sir. He's a genius. And you're seeing the result of underestimating people because of their position, their skin, or their station in life. Jordan's small hands moved with precision, guided by instinct, knowledge, and imagination. A hidden sensor aligned a fan blade. A microchip adjusted the temperature. Another activated a sequence of lights. The mansion seemed to pulse in harmony, alive and responding to every minor adjustment he made. The CEO's voice rose in panic. Turn it off. Stop it. This isn't what The mansion ignored him. Every device hummed in perfect synchrony, highlighting the CEO's incompetence in subtle but undeniable ways. Lights shifted to show neglected corners. Security cameras projected blind spots caused by ignored maintenance, and every failing system was suddenly corrected or emphasized. Jordan stepped back, eyes still on the fan hovering above. Sir, he said, voice quiet but firm, this is what happens when you mock talent. When you think wealth and power make you superior to others, you forget that real skill, real intelligence, real courage doesn't care about money. The CEO's knees shook, his face pale. He looked around the office and saw it anew. The mansion wasn't just a building. It was a mirror. Every flaw, every shortcut, every neglected detail he thought no one noticed was now highlighted, exposed, undeniable. Marcus, who had spent years working in corporate offices, muttered in awe, I've never seen anything like this. It's not just repaired, it's transformed. He's made the entire mansion smarter than anyone could be. Jordan glanced at his mother, a small smile crossing his face. Mom, watch this. He pressed a final combination on his tablet. The mansion responded like a living organism. Every light adjusted its intensity. Fans rotated in perfect balance. Temperature zones corrected themselves automatically. Even the airflow optimized itself according to the number of people in the room. It wasn't just functional, it was beautiful. The CEO's face twisted in disbelief. No, how this is done real. Martha stepped forward. It's not unreal. It's real. Real talent, real effort, real respect. You mocked me. You mocked Jordan. But here he stands. Proof that brilliance cannot be ignored or diminished. Jordan's fingers moved over the tablet one last time, and the mansion systems hummed in perfect synchrony. The holographic displays disappeared, leaving only a mansion functioning flawlessly, a silent but undeniable testament to his skill. The CEO slumped into his chair, defeated. I see it now. I underestimated you, both of you. His voice broke. I'm sorry. I never realized. Martha's calm, steady voice cut through his words. Sir, respect is not given because of wealth. It is earned through fairness, integrity, and kindness. You fail at all three. Jordan's voice, soft yet unwavering, echoed in the vast office. And now, sir, maybe you'll understand that mocking someone doesn't make you powerful. It only exposes your weaknesses. Talent, courage, and integrity, those are what lasts. The CEO swallowed hard, eyes darting to fan above. Its smooth rotation and soft glow were no longer just a fix. They were a challenge, a moral judgment, and a display of pure genius. The assistants watched in stunned silence, realizing that a 12-year-old boy had accomplished what decades of education and money could not. Then, without warning, the mansion emitted a gentle hum, almost like a voice acknowledging Jordan's triumph. Every light and appliance seemed to pulse with life, and the CEO's eyes widened in terror. Martha gripped Jordan's hand. Something's happening, she whispered. Jordan's eyes narrowed. He pulled up schematics on his tablet. Mom, there's more. This isn't just the fan or the lights. There's a hidden system, neglected, ignored, covered up. He's been hiding mistakes, waste, something bigger, and it's all connected. The CEO's voice dropped to a whisper. No, no, that's impossible. Jordan took a deep breath, determination flashing in his eyes. It's time the truth comes out. The mansion had already revealed the CEO's incompetence and arrogance. But now, deeper secrets lurked beneath the surface, waiting to be exposed. And Jordan, with Martha by his side, was ready to uncover them all. Cliffhanger. As Jordan tapped the final command, the mansion's hidden systems began to illuminate a network of corruption and neglect, threatening to bring down the CEO completely. Martha realized that what had begun as a simple act of fixing a fan had transformed into a reckoning, one that would change everything forever.